Welcome all you whiskey nuts. This is Mark from WhiskyWhistle, bringing you whiskey review number 20. If you're returning, for those of the subscribers who have returned, thank you so much. And if you're just tuning in for the first time today, well, I really do hope you enjoy it. And if so, please subscribe and share the video. Today we're going to be looking at the Duthac by Glenmorangie. Now this is the third Glenmorangie that I reviewed. Number 1 was the original. Number 2 was the old 10-year-old, and so now this is the third that I'll be doing, the Duthac. Named so after Saint Duthac, who is, I believe, the patron saint of Tain, and that's where Glenmorangie is located in Scotland, in Tain. So anyway, now if you'd like to know more about Glenmorangie, please do look at review number 1. I'm going to put a link below. And, well, we're going to get right into the tasting today. And we'll talk just a little bit about this particular product, which is quite different from the regular 10-year-old or other Glenmorangies available, okay? So let's get right into the pouring. Quite a nice deep hue. I'll bring the bottle up close for you to have a look at. 43% alcohol by volume. Highland single malt Scotch whiskey. So let's pour a little bit. Now you may notice that I'm wearing a mic, and I'm doing that today because there is a little bit of construction going on in my building here in Korea. So hence the microphone. I hope that the sound is good. And if so, I may continue to use it. So we'll see. Now, this is a non-age statement whiskey, or referred to in the industry as NAS. So we don't know how old this is. Probably it's around about 10 years old. Why would they not put a price tag, an age statement on it? Well, one reason could be that they've done something different, something unusual, and which makes the production of this particular product more expensive. However, legislation, of course, the youngest whiskey in the bottle becomes the age of the whiskey. So if this is 10 years old but has had some other sort of unique features added to it, they can only call it a 10-year-old, and that may throw off some buyers. It would not throw me off. But for the people who just enjoy the occasional Scotch, they may wonder, well, why is this more expensive? So anyway, now that's my opinion. There may be some other reasons, and this may be younger than 10 years old, but I don't think by much, if so. If you do know, please leave a comment, okay? Now, interesting thing about this one, it has a nose much like bourbon, and there's a reason for that. We'll talk about that. So it's got quite a spice and really heavy vanilla nose hitting you in the face. It's very, very perfumey also. And lurking in the background there is the signature Glenmorangie nose of some sort of orange and peaches and an almond, raw almond sort of marzipan scent, if you will. Quite nice. I'm going to let that sit for just 1 minute or two. We'll look at the box here. This is in the Legend series, and this is something that will only be available in travel retail, aka duty-free. So hopefully, if you can travel abroad, you can pick up a bottle of this one or another product they have called Dornach or Tornach. I don't know. I'm not sure the pronunciation. Anyway, so Legends, the Duthac, and this is King James the Sixth. I should have looked up why it says King James the Sixth. And then it says here, part finished in Pedro Jimenez, or PX casks, and virgin oak casks. And that's the reason why it smells a little bit like bourbon. They've used virgin oak casks. So this is a brand spanking new cask that has never been used, And that comes right from Glenmorangie's own forest in the Ozarks in Missouri. Okay. A whiskey fit for a king. This expression honors the annual pilgrimage made by King James VI to the shrine of Saint Duthac in Tain, and is part of Glenmorangie Legends, a collection of single malt whiskies inspired by the legendary lands that have been home to the Glenmorangie distillery since 1843. Well, there's the reason. Now, I read that before. I did forget. Anyway, so that's why it's called, that's why there's a note here about King James VI. Okay, now I don't want to read too much of this to you, but I'll talk a little bit about Saint Duthac, and that's him right there. Born in 1300, at the beginning of the 14th century, at the centre of the royal burgh of Tain, Rossshire, in the far north of Scotland, where the Glenmorangie distillery has stood proudly since 1843, lies the resting place of Saint Duthac. Oh, pardon me, not 1300, 1000. My mistake. Born around the year 1000, the patron saint of Tain was as revered as the land in which he rose to prominence. During the Middle Ages, the legends of his workings drew travelers from far and wide on pilgrimages to the ancient burgh. Okay. I'm going to keep this one today a little bit short, so if you want to have a look at the rest of the box, I will probably maybe put a picture of that up on Twitter at WhiskyWhistle. No spaces, no E on whiskey. Okay, so, and over time, that virgin cask note, the cinnamon and spice and vanilla, it fades a little bit, leaving behind a little bit of the sherry influence. So you get a little more sherry influence with a few minutes in the glass. So you'll smell a light scent of raisins coming through there. However, let's maybe more like an orange cake with raisins in it. The orange from the actual distillate note that Glenmorangie has right from the stills. Okay, let's taste that one. Cheers, everybody. And, he's rolling around there too. To Dr. Lumsden, thanks again. Well, at 43%, it's quite drinkable. 43%, a little more than the standard 40, so that's great. A little bit less than 46, which is the point at which not chill filtering becomes marketable as far as the look of the whiskey. So this is likely chill filtered somewhat. I don't think very much, however. I'm going to wait a minute there. There's a buttery mouthfeel to this one, kind of like a butter ripple. That liqueur coats your mouth a little bit, leaves it a little bit buttery and sweet. So let me just taste that once more. It's kind of a spicy orange marmalade with that butter ripple flavor woven through. Quite nice. And finish wise, you're left with some of the powerful oaky notes. So a nice strong vanilla, as well as a little bit of astringency, not much. And a little bit of the orange zest. That's the outside of the orange that sprays with, actually flammable oil, if you've ever tried that with a lighter. Anyway, so orange zest on the finish. Yeah, orange zest. Now I'm going to add a little bit of water, just 1 spoonful in there. roll that around a little bit. Now, as you are tasting this one, you'll notice that I'm rolling it around quite slowly. All I want to do is coat the glass with a little bit of the liquid and let it evaporate, and so that you can get a little bit more of the scent as it evaporates. So now the original note of Glenmorangie, the original, the nuttiness, the marzipan and raw almond scent is really coming through. And there's still vanilla in the background and a little bit of the raisin, orange cake with raisins. And a mild chocolate note is coming through here as well. So that might have been quite a good char that they've used on the virgin oak cask, lending a little bit of this chocolatey note in it. So really lovely nose, in fact. It's a little more complex than the original. Okay, and let's try that with water. Now we get a lot more of that butter ripple effect. More of a toffee-ish flavor. So somewhere between chocolate and caramel. This is really delightful. I think that for someone who is just coming into whiskey, if they've tried the original and they really like Glenmorangie, you will really enjoy this one. And what I would do, I would go ahead and maybe get something like a Jack Daniel's Gentleman Jack, because I do believe that the barrels from Glenmorangie are lent to Jack Daniel's. So get a nice bottle of Jack Daniel's together with the original and this one, and compare them. And you might find that this is actually a good bridge between Scotch whiskey and American bourbon. So anyway, I really do like this. I'm very glad I bought it. Duty free, I believe it was about $80 US. So about getting on double the price of the original. This is a liter, however, so you get a little bit more. So maybe not quite double, in fact, if I do my math. I'm not going to do my math. Anyway, that's about it for me. Again, my name is Mark. Oh, we should give this a score, shouldn't we? This is going to get 83 out of 100 from WhiskyWhistle. Okay, so that's a WhiskyWhistle score, 83 out of 100. This would be quite close to the upper 80s if it were 46% and a little bit more natural presentation. But very well made, and hats off to Dr. Bill Lumsden for yet another successful product that he has been in charge of. So that's great. So again, I'm Mark from WhiskyWhistle. Check me out on Twitter at WhiskyWhistle, and please subscribe here on YouTube if you've enjoyed it. And what else? One more thing about Movember. This is getting towards the end of Movember. I'm still collecting donations. You can find that on Facebook, WhiskyWhistle. Okay? So have a look, and please do make a pledge if you feel so moved to do so. Okay? I think I made a little bit of a redundancy there. Not the last one I'll make. Anyway, thanks again, and we'll see you next time.